Hello and welcome back to Before the Medicine podcast. I am your host and wellness education partner, Dr. Johnson. We met a few episodes ago, so if you've been here before, thank you for returning. If it's your first time, thank you for tuning in. We're just going to get right into it. We have, at the time of this recording, 5 weeks, but by the time this comes out, closer to 4 weeks or maybe a little bit less till the end of the year. So I thought, what better a topic, a platform of mine to use in the wellness space to discuss how we can use this end of year time to really propel the next year. We're not waiting until January 1st of those New Year's resolutions that maybe you participate in or have in the past, but we're going to approach it a little bit different today. So we are not looking forward to making a plan in January or for January 1 that fizzles out by the time we're in February. That's not what we're doing here. By the end of this episode, you'll have 3 transformational tools. First, I'm going to give you 3 versions of yourself that show up in your health journey and discover why only one of those creates lasting transformation, which is what we're after. We want something that's going to last. Second, you'll be able to complete a year-end identity audit that exposes which version you've been negotiating with and how to stop that before 2025. And third, you're going to be able to create identity-based wellness rituals with research showing how these rituals outperform traditional goals over 50%, closer to 60%. But I do want you to stay tuned into the end because I'm also going to share how I'm able to create that success in wellness transformation through my medical consulting firm. If you're ready to stop starting over every January and lock in for real change before the year ends this year, we'll go ahead and get into it. So I want you to stop negotiating with the weakest version of yourself. And I mean that with all respect. We all have stronger parts of our personality, our performances. So it doesn't mean you're a weak person, but there are weaker aspects of you, comparatively speaking. I want you to lock in before the year ends by answering some uncomfortable questions, possibly, but the primary question is going to be, which version of yourself are you negotiating with? So what I mean by this is not what your goals are. I think this is a little bit separate from that, and not looking at what you want to change. That's very generic. But who are you compromising with when you say, for example, I'll start on Monday, or just this once, like you'll skip something, or I'm too tired today. Something came up. Because the truth that a lot of advice or some platforms or myths that are out there is you can't transform your health while negotiating with your weakest self. And I don't think any platform is coming out and saying do that. But the underlining tone, if we don't have more of these concrete structures to guide us and maybe to reference, that you may be falling into this trap of just hamster wheeling that weak version of yourself that you're talking to and you're going back and forth with about real change that you want to see take place. As a physician who's been doing this a long time, I've watched people, my patients, even outside of the clinic, but compromise their way into chronic disease and broaden the gap of the decrease in motivation that they have to make sustainable change. And I'm here to tell you that it's time to lock into your wellness identity with an end of year audit that will actually help you to stick to those transformations that you want to see take place. And as an aside, I just want to say, as I'm filming this, I hear the kids next door playing basketball. So I apologize. I'm not going to stop filming. I'm going to keep going because I'm on a time crunch here. But if it does pick up on the mic, I do apologize for that. So let's talk about the 3 versions of yourself. Before the year ends, I think that it's important to have clarity on the 3 distinct versions of yourself that may show up in this wellness journey that you're taking. So the first one, the version that you're compromising with. And this just means, for example, this person that says, hey, it's been a really hard day, or I deserve this because of this hard day. It's the version that skips the workout because you're too busy. It is the you that knows what they need to do, knows that they probably need to choose better, but instead chooses comfort over that commitment. There's no judgment here. We have to state what it is, what's in front of us, what we need to get past. We all have this version, but here lies the problem. Every compromise with this version of yourself is a vote for staying exactly where you are. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, moving past that. So the second identity here is the version that you are negotiating with. And this is a tricky one. This is the one that bargains. I'll eat well Monday through Friday, and then I'll indulge on the weekend. I'll start after the holidays. I'll do 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes of said activity that is there to support you. So the negotiation, it feels like progress because you are doing something, but lifestyle transformation and mindset mastery in your wellness, they don't happen in the gap of your intention and your excuses. Let me say that again. The transformation, that's what we're going for, the overall transformation, the lasting, sustaining. It doesn't happen in the gap of your intention and your excuses. So we're going to stop negotiating with that weak part. And if we don't, it will always win the argument. So we want to get past that. The third identity is the version you're committed to. And that's going to be the one that shows up even when it's hard, even when times are inconvenient. It's the you that chooses presence over perfection. The you that understands you show up anyway, because this is who you are. You have ingrained that. You have practiced it. You've essentially mastered it. This version doesn't compromise, doesn't negotiate. It decides and acts from alignment and not convenience. Now, this can be a good habit. It can be a bad habit. We all have this already in us. It's not that you have to get to this. You have to decide which version of you is going to be in this committed state. All right. So why do most end of year or beginning of year goals fail? But also, how can we change that with transitioning into a wellness identity instead and not just having a goal? Here's what I see in my practice. January, people set goals based on who they want to be. They're still operating from the identity of who they currently are. And that goes back to reference what we just talked about. So the negotiating self, the compromising self, the committed self. So if who you are stuck in not who you ultimately want to be, and that's where you're operating from, you're not going to be, it's like running in place. You're not going to go anywhere. I don't care January 1st, January 15th, middle of the year, June, it's going to be the same outcome. You can't create a health transformation from an identity that's still compromising and negotiating. There's been some research, there's been tons of research, but specifically on identity-based habits. So someone who's going to say, I am someone who prioritizes my health, they outperform goal habits in that similar to that, but stated differently. I want to lose 20 pounds. So the end goal essentially could be the same for that one person, but the way that they identify with how they're going to get there and how they're going to live that is different. And so then the reaction, well, not reaction, the action, like action's better than reaction. The intention behind it is different. If research has shown that they outperform the simple goals of I'm going to lose X amount of pounds over 50%. So that's huge. That's sustainable. That's what we're looking for here. And why does that happen? Why is this? Because goals are external targets, but identity is who you become in the pursuit or who you end up being in the pursuit. So I want you to think about that and let that settle in. All right. So the end of year audit. This is where we are. So 3 questions that you can use to lock into your own health transformation before 2025. Again, we don't have to wait until that time. This is prepping time. This is prime time. So I like to think of myself as an imperfectly perfect cook. I love to cook now. Wasn't always the case, but I cook about 95% of my meals. And prepping is such a huge part of that. And so a lot of times I do things on the fly, but when I'm doing that, I realize how much easier it would have been had I prepped for some of the things, the ingredients, the going to the store, all those things that come with making an amazing meal, but your life isn't much different. So in this preparation time, I would like you to think about and this is before you write another goal list, some of these questions and be honest with yourself. So question number 1, which version of myself am I compromising with most often? I should have said that we all at some point will compromise with each one of those identities that we talked about, those 3, but which one is happening most often? Most often. Name the specific behaviors. I compromise with the version of me that prioritizes everyone else's needs before my own health. I compromise with the version that uses stress as an excuse for poor lifestyle choices. Raise your hand. I've been there, still working through that. And start with settling in the awareness as the first step in your wellness identity transformation. So what this month, 3 weeks, end of year lock-in that I'm talking about is, again, it's more prep. It's not a lot of things that you have to go out, do, overhaul that will fizzle out even before January, but it's being aware, it's being present, it's having conversations with the most important person in this transformation, which is you. Question number 2, what am I negotiating with that I need to stop negotiating with, essentially? So where are you bargaining with yourself? Is it the future date? I'll start Monday, or I'll do this, just this one last time, or I'm too busy to really do that right now. So stop negotiating with those weak parts that don't serve you. And again, weakness used here, it's not a slander. It's not minimizing any part of yourself. It's just that part of yourself that doesn't have that commitment of the optimized you, or the you that you foresee as living as your best self in your health and your wellness practices. So it is a part of you on the journey, but it doesn't have to be the end point. So if you don't like using the word weak, that's fine. Find some other term for that. But these negotiations end up being a permission slip to stay stuck. So once you identify them, once you name them, then you can start crossing them off the list, creating a transformational statement that's the opposite of that, starting to live those things so that you can actually embody them. Question number 3, what version am I committed to doing differently? Or what version am I committed to changing today? Not tomorrow, not in the next 4 weeks. We're talking about now. So incremental change, micro habits, small bites. I'm all about that. Everything doesn't have to change and overhaul right away, but we're looking at the version you're committed to that doesn't have to wait on the perfect conditions. I think that at any point, any one of us has tried to make everything absolutely right, only to be stuck there 365 days later. And that doesn't feel good either. So what about just starting with the most imperfect place that you are, just knowing that you got to start, whether that start is up here, whether that start is here, whether that start is in your gut saying, hey, something doesn't feel right, something needs to change, I need to, be more aware, or actually taking action, getting someone, starting researching where your support system will be in that space, starting researching where you will be able to participate in the activities that you need to do, the community that you need to be a part of, the supplies, the ingredients, whatever this is, because health encompasses so many parts of our lives. But what part can you commit to doing today? All right. Let's talk about the plan, strategic plan. And so this is your strategic plan that I'm giving you before, again, the year ends, so that we can start whatever New Year's, whatever goal setting you have planned to begin the year. How can we really plan for that so that it takes off and exponentially just gets you where you need to go? So completing the identity audit, that's above those questions, and saying, hey, which one of these identities do you most align with? Write them down. Be honest. You don't have to share with anyone. This is between you and you. Which version have you been operating from? Step 2, declare your non-negotiables. So what are the wellness practices that you will no longer compromise? We're not talking about putting it into action now. You can just state it to yourself. You can record it on one of your devices. You can write it down so that it's in front of you, or a place where you can reference back. Not I should, not I'll try, but what are you actually committed to? So an example, I am somebody who moves in my body every single day. I didn't say gym. I didn't say workout class. I didn't say, I'm following this person's YouTube video and workout series. I move every day. So that way I get movement in and however it shows up in my life or however I can plan for it. And now you are that person that does this daily. And then you start to see the results. And then you don't even think about it. It just becomes who you are and what you do. And then number 4 is building accountability structure. So that could be with just joining this community, hearing messaging, engaging in conversations that support you, working with coaches, working with your current healthcare providers, working in friend settings, social settings. But it doesn't have to happen in isolation. If you prefer it that way, that's okay too. But just know that you're not alone in this. There are support systems that are committed to doing what you're doing or either in a similar alignment that makes it easier to find that connection helpful. But speaking of community, this is why I wanted you to stay tuned until the end. I like to just plug my services as a medical consultant. I don't work with people on an individual basis. I have a medical practice that I'm employed in, and that's where I see patients, and that takes a lot of insurances, different kinds of state licensing that I'm not interested in doing on an individual basis with just how I could actually support you and have time. But as a multidisciplinary medical consultant and collaborator and the firm that I have, my network of other healthcare providers as well, I'm able to partner with organizations and help to transform wellness. So we talk about here, but through evidence-based lifestyle programs, strategic health initiatives, and program-based solutions. So I just want to lay that here. You never know who may need that. You never know who may be interested and need a reference for that. But I also, even outside of organizations, participate in speaking engagements, as well as event-based wellness outreach. I really love that stuff. That's like fuel for me. It's really fun and it doesn't necessarily feel like work, but that I have a message and I'm able to expand that beyond my office, beyond the stethoscopes, beyond the medicine, before the medicine, all those things. To end this episode, I want you to remember that you cannot negotiate your way to transformation. And again, this is between you and you. I'm not talking about with someone else or who you have to give any excuses or feel like you have to answer to. This is you. But in this discussion with yourself and outlining what you want for yourself, you can commit your way there. And that's what is important, and having the grace and the compassion to do that with yourself, no matter how many times it takes you to go back to the drawing board, start over, realign, reconnect, refresh your settings, your internal settings. But let's lock in before the end of the year. We don't want to start January, think about the last 365 days, get disappointed, start with full momentum, fall off. We're doing this now. We're doing it today. Every day is January 1st, if you want to look at it that way. So with that, I would like to invite you to tune in with me next week. But for now, get out. I'm about to get out. Go live your life. Live a life that supports you, and not just where you are now, but who you see your higher self as being. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.